Good morning, dear listeners of CRTV Southwest 94.5. I am Ms Eveline Angonwi, and I am taking the baton now to lead you on as we go on with our money program. I'm here on a special program ahead of the Women's Day, this year's Women's Day, and amongst the programs that have been scheduled is talks with these women, different classes of women who come out to tell us about their activities, from various organizations. The Women's Day is around the corner, so we have so many. The Women's Day, the vibe is high. It's all about the women, so we are here promoting women. It's women supporting women, and so we are not doing any less this morning. And so it's a pleasure being with you all, listeners. I will unfold, or I'm going to introduce our guests to you this morning after this short break. Do not go anywhere. Disability, they say, is not inability, my people. Women are making different strides at various angles, and it's with much pleasure that I get to introduce to you these women who are making the difference in our society. And when I'm talking about these women, I'm talking about the Cameroon's Association for Blind Women. Cameroon's Association for Blind Women. I have here with me in the studio the national and the vice president, and so I'm not going to do much of the talking. We have the Association for the Blind, and it will shock you, dear listener, that I just got to find out that we have a special association for blind women, nationally and internationally recognized. So I will start by I'm talking to the president. She goes by the name Madame Eveline Angonwi. I hope I got this pronunciation correct. Good morning, ma.
Good morning, Yvonne.
So, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm very happy to be here in Buea. It's a little different. Mm-hmm. It was a long journey to get to Buea.
Indeed.
Yeah, but all being the same, I'm so glad I'm here. I'm glad to talk about the blind women here in Buea, to support our sisters who are here in Buea. So I'm glad to be here this morning.
Indeed, and we are glad to have you in the town of legendary hospitality. And how has your stay been so far? First of all, tell us, is it your first time in Buea?
No, this is not my first time in Buea, but this is my first time in the CRTV Buea.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So how has your stay been in Buea, the town of hospitality?
May I just say, this morning, the taxi driver that dropped me here did not take any fare for my transportation. So I might say for sure it is a town of hospitality.
Indeed, indeed. And it's amazing because you're actually visually impaired, and but you see people. It's that fact of integration that we are talking about, and I'm happy that so far you've had a wonderful stay in Buea.
A wonderful welcome indeed.
A wonderful welcome. And I pray that you enjoy your stay.
That's that I'm looking forward to enjoying my stay here for sure.
Okay, so the Cameroon Association for Blind Women, what is it all about?
The Cameroon's Association for Blind Women needed to start somehow, and so it is an association that brings together blind women all over Cameroon. Main focus is in the Anglophone regions because for some time there has been an association for the blind in Cameroon, but that caters more for people or the French-speaking people. And so I've been a leader in this association, but I found out that the women in this other region were left out. And so we thought that it was time that the women who are not French-speaking need to come together in order to share in their ambitions, share in their challenges, and see how they can move ahead with their own lives just as other women are doing.
Okay, so when was this association created?
This association was created in 2019. In fact, in 2019, I was elected in Addis Ababa as the president of the Women's Committee of the African Union of the Blind in Addis Ababa. And then, of course, we had women of all category coming from every part of Africa to this meeting. They elected me. And for sure, you will not go talking about people's things without thinking about your own thing. And so when I came back, I found out there was a real reason for us to start something with the Anglophone speaking blind women in Cameroon. And so in 2019, we came together in Yaoundé and we started our first meeting, and we elected our board members, and then we only got acknowledgement for this, our association, in 2021. But since then, we have been doing things, and we are still doing things.
Okay, very interesting to know there. You know, they say journey of 1,000 miles begins with a step, and I'm happy that people are striving on. But before we get to what exactly you have been doing as an association, some of the victories you have recorded so far, I want to tell our listeners that you are not alone. You know, you have your support system, you know, moving with you, and of course, I'm talking about your vice president, who is also here. So we would like to introduce her to our listeners before we go on. You know, we're talking about your vision. So, dear ladies, dear gentlemen out there, we have Madame Do Glory, who is also the vice president of the Cameroon's Association for Blind Women. Good morning, Madame Do Glory.
Good morning, Yvonne.
How are you doing today?
Thank God for the new breaking day.
Indeed. So we're in the studios of CRTV Southwest. How do you feel being here?
I'm happy because it's like the place has really changed, because I was lastly here 5 years ago, okay. So I've seen some changes.
Of course, and the place has indeed changed. You know, we have good microphones, yes. Everything new, you know. So it's still part of the mission to make sure that at least we are here for you people in order to give you a platform to express yourself. So you are the Vice President, National Branch, but also you represent the Southwest region in particular. Yes. So can you tell us, paint us a picture? How is the situation in the Southwest region in terms of the number of visually impaired women and what they really go through in this region? It's a crisis region.
For now, since I represent the Vice nationally, and for now we have decided just to be in Buea, because to go out of Buea, it is not easy for us, since transportation and at times the road is not good. So we are just in Buea.
Mm-hmm. So how is the situation in Buea? Tell us about what these women go through, you know, some of the challenges they are facing with the current socio-political climate.
The first challenges they face is that they are visually impaired. Secondly, some of them do their petty trade. For now, they cannot go to the market at times because they will tell us there is shooting in Mutengene, there is shooting in Munya. So we have challenges because it is only through this petty trading that we can help our children or other family members.
Okay. So is there any particular strategy you are putting in place in order to let these women know that there's an association out here for them? What exactly are you doing?
I do my door-to-door campaign, but I do community-based rehabilitation. That's when they tell me there's a visual impaired woman this way, like I work in Limbe and Buea, I will try to get the phone number. If possible, I go to the house and counsel the woman and just make her understand that even though she's visually impaired, all is not lost. Because after that, we try to rehabilitate you and empower you.
Okay. So registration is open and is free to every other woman who is listening to us who is visually impaired. So you're trying to tell our mothers out there to contact you people. Is that the case?
Yes.
Okay. All right. All right, we will move on to you, Madam President of the Cameroon's Association for Blind Women, Madam Eveline Angonwi, to tell us some of the highlights of your activities from when it was your association was incepted to now. So, what are some of those highlights that you have recorded?
We have actively participated in so many. Would I say in so many aspects that are changing the life of persons with disability in Cameroon. I want to talk most particularly about the recent laws, the recent international laws that were ratified by our country. That was done late 2021. Cameroon actually ratified 3 important laws that concerns people with disability. We had the UN Convention for the Rights of Persons with Disability. That's an old law that Cameroon was lacking behind, but finally we did ratify. We had the protocol of the Charter of the Rights of Persons with Disability in Africa, the African Protocol for the Charter of Persons for the Rights of Persons with Disability. That too was ratified by Cameroon, and kudos to Madam Minister who worked very hard for that. We had the Marrakesh Treaty. The Marrakesh Treaty is something that I hold very dear to my heart. That was ratified too in 2021. Marrakesh Treaty talks all about books, accessible books for persons with disability, persons with print disability, because as you know, what is peculiar about people who do not see is that they can't get information as they can access information like you do, and so we have to get access to information through reading Braille, through audiobooks, through other applications that are available today for us to be able to interact with our workplace, and so we had contributed a lot in that, and we had an advocacy work with the Ministry of Social Affairs. We advocated to see the lives of persons with disability change. We talked about projects that can help them to income generating projects. We had this work with the ministry last year. It was a long struggle. We talked about those who are skilled, those who have gone to school, the fact that they have to have jobs. We have local laws in Cameroon. We have a local law that promotes and protects persons with disability, but the problem is that we don't see those laws being implemented in our environment, in our workplaces. We don't see it, and so we have to continue sensitizing. We have to continue talking to see that we have some changes all around that. And we had the Prime Minister signed a decree last year that grants 5 years more to people who have deficiencies. So let's say if there is a concours, as we generally call it in Cameroon,
yes,
and the age limit is 32. People with disability have about 5 more years in order to be able to still stand for these competitive exams, and that is thanks to the work that we have been doing. And here in the Southwest Province, of course, or the Southwest region, I'm still old school. I am still old school to call it province. So, okay, we've had our women, thanks to the dynamic woman that Do Glory is. We've had to have them come together. I've had to come here, or they have had to come to Yaoundé for us to do our planning. We have to see how we can build capacity to have them be included in all the humanitarian work that is going around the region, and to see that the woman with disability, especially the blind woman, can also find her way and speak in this project, so they are not left behind. And so they have been doing quite fine. And so this is the Women's Day. We thought we had to come here.
Yes.
I thought we had to come here and continue with the sensitization.
Of course.
The theme this year is for inclusive digital world, innovation, technology, for gender equality.
Yeah, indeed, it's a very peculiar and striking theme. But before we get in depth into the theme of this year, I beg your pardon, Madam Eveline, where is your headquarters? The headquarters of this association, Cameroon Association for Blind Women, is it in Buea or in Yaoundé? Our listeners would like to know.
Our headquarters is in Yaoundé.
Okay.
Yeah, but we have our branch here in Buea.
Okay, and in Buea, where is your office located?
That's quite big to call it that way. We don't actually have an office. You see, we are still new, and we have problems with having funds, because having an office now demands some kind of investment that we've not had the money yet. Okay. And so for now, we only, if anybody wants to know what we are doing, then they will have to meet Madame Do Glory, and she will tell them what they have for the women for the moment.
Okay. So how do they meet Madame Do Glory? Is she dropping a contact? Or how do they, Madame Do Glory, if these women want to reach out to you, they're listening to us, they're interested to be part of your association, how do they reach out to you?
I give them my contacts.
Okay.
Which is?
676-828256. I take it again. 676-828256.
Okay. 828256. Okay. Thank you so much for giving your contact out there. You never know who is listening to us. So they will be able to reach out to you. Then you tell them what exactly they have to do to go about being part of this association, which comes with so many benefits, as Madam the President has told us, it comes with so many benefits, and it's all about alleviating the challenges of visually impaired women in particular suffer from and suffer of. So apart from the Southwest region, we want to make, although your focus is on the Anglophone women, can you tell us, do you have different branches and where exactly?
We have another branch in Bamenda. Yinla Elizabeth is she coordinates the branch in Bamenda, and of course there's one in Yaoundé. The one we have in Yaoundé is our headquarters, as you say.
Okay. Oh, thank you so much. We have been talking about the Cameroon Association for the Blind. Dear listener, it's me, Yvonne Angonwi, in the studio, and I'm here with two dynamic ladies, Madame Eveline Angonwi, who is the national president of this Association for Blind Women, and also Madame Do Glory, who is the vice president. Now we are going to take a short musical break so that we digest, the information we have received so far about the vision and the objectives of this association. We're going to come back to this association, but after the break, it's all about Women's Day. I'm sure you are eager.
Nations all around the world, women are longing to be free, no longer in the shadows, forced to stay behind, but side by side in true equality. So sing a song for women everywhere. Let it ring around the world and never cease. So sing a song for women everywhere. Equality, development and peace. Women can't be silent when all around the world people hurt and hungry children cry. We'll sing out loud for justice and development and hold the rights of other people high. So sing a song for women everywhere. Let it ring around the world and never cease. So sing a song for women everywhere. Equality, development and peace. Women now are working to build a better world, where the love of peace can rest on every shore, where men hands and learn to love and share. And people work to bring an end to war. So sing a song for women everywhere. Let it ring around the world and never.
Thank you so much, Mr. Teji Moise, for that women's anthem, which resonates downright into the soul of every Cameroonian woman, especially during this period. It's been a long ride so far. Good 38 years, since women came out to start commemorating the International Women's Day. So this year we are talking about the 38th edition of the International Women's Day. And it involves every woman. And as the Southwest Regional Delegate was saying the other day in an interview with the CRTV Southwest, Madame Lucia says every woman should be fully involved in all the activities. We've been having so far in the Southwest region, roundtable conferences, sporting activities, human investments, and amongst others, and even radio talks. And that is why we are here this morning with the association, Cameroon's Association for Blind Women, and we have their representatives with us here in the studio. And so this same Women's Day is celebrated on the theme, an inclusive digital world, innovation and technologies for gender equality. Now we'll come back to you, Madame Eveline Angonwi, the president of Cameroon Association for the Blind. What does this theme signify to you?
I'm so very excited and even passionate about this theme.
Okay.
The world has gone digital. And so it should be inclusive. In fact, it is inclusive. We know new technology, it's just like it was made for people with visual impairment. If it were not there, then we would be really excluded. And so it is so well taught that it was so well thought of. And so, when we talk about the gender equality, we in the Cameroon Association for Blind Women, we are seeing the fact where because of the new technology, our devices, they help the young boy, the young girl. It helps the woman, it helps the man with visual impairment to be able to access information and really get far. For a long time, disability had been seen from the charity-based approach, where especially the blind people, when we see blind people, what we think of is how we can help them, give them some food, give them some small assistance, not really knowing that they are able to do things. Indeed. We are able to go to school, learn skills. Correct. We have talents that we can use in order to develop our environment, and this has gone a far way because of the new technology, the digital world that is today. We all women with visual impairment, they have some kind of limitation in mobility. But with my computer and my telephone, I do a lot of work all around the world. I do a lot of work with it. And so for some people who don't know this, or who do not have this information, they would think that we would not be able to do anything, because people who don't know us or who do not know what is available for us will feel sorry for us, and they brainstorm, they try to want to understand what they can do with a person like us. Yeah. But this new technology is helping us a lot, and that is why we want to sensitize. We are sensitizing, and we are telling, most especially the youth, the young people. You see, generally, because of this charity-based approach, blind children, blind young girls have been used as baits to attract humanitarian or to attract charity. But that is missing out in a lot of things. Those are children who could grow up and become teachers. They can become baristas, lawyers. They can be journalists like you are. They can do a lot of things if only they are they are being exposed to the right information.
Okay.
And so this was just another opportunity to tell. It's another opportunity to tell everybody out there, if you know a young girl or a young boy who is visually impaired, they can not only be reduced to be beggars in the streets.
Okay.
Because of the inclusive digital world that we are in today, they can be, I don't know what I will tell them, but they can go really, really far that people will not, they will not expect. So that will be a little about what I can say about the theme for the women, for the Women's Day, the Women's Week this time.
Indeed. Thank you so much. And you have really spoken well on the theme and made us understand how significant it is to you as a visually impaired woman, but you still pull it through. And you have made us also understand that the digital world is very, very inclusive. Many people may not understand what you mean by that, but there are technologies, as you rightly said, for the visually impaired. And they should not just sit out there and just dwell on the charity-based approach, but to go out there and know that there are technologies that would instead enable them, facilitate their living living style, facilitate life for them. And as you rightly said, technology has instead made life easier. And that is an amazing thing, for us to know. And so we can only encourage technology for every woman and for every man out there. Now, coming to you, Madam Do Glory, the Vice President of Cameroon Association for Blind Women. Have you organized an association alongside the women? Have you been involved in these activities in the Southwest region, the various activities that commemorate the Women's Day?
We took part for the first preparative meeting.
Okay.
And since with a series of ghost town, we couldn't continue because at times we want to come up this way. They say this ghost town, so that stopped us from taking part.
Okay.
For the activities.
All right. But it was officially launched on Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. Activities were officially launched and it was opened by a prayer. I don't know if there was a call to prayer. Women gathered at Bongo Square. I don't know if you took part in that activity. Or
No, we took part yesterday.
Okay.
In Buea.
Okay.
At least Mutegen and my 14 banda.
Okay, what activity was that?
Was International World Day for Prayers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, indeed, the World Day of Prayers. I was opportune to be with a woman at the Buea prayer zone or ecumenical prayer zone, and it saw different women come together from different denominations to pray about issues that are plaguing our nation, and to pray for a better tomorrow and a better Cameroon. So, how did you feel being in the midst of those women? How did you feel?
When I'm in the midst of my other sighted women. No, I'm very happy because if I'm lost anywhere, they'll direct me. So I'm always happy being with them.
And you were praying, and so you were also in the presence of God.
Yes.
How did that make you feel? How was it? How important was that activity yesterday to
just
you?
Like I was already in heaven because the fact that I met with my other sighted women and I feel at home, I'm not lost.
Indeed.
Yes.
Indeed.
The fact that I don't have sight, but I'm not lost.
Indeed.
So I was happy. The day was very nice.
Indeed. And we all found ourselves, as you rightly say, we are not lost. We all found ourselves because we, as I say, is women supporting women during this season. So tell us, any other activities you're going to take part before the Women's Day proper, especially for your organization? Can you see, do you people have any special activities that have been set aside?
On the day we will not match, but we'll just look for an area just to have to entertain ourselves, to have a bite, and to discuss any other things that we are to discuss today.
Okay.
And for us in Yaoundé, we intend to have a workshop, but we are still working on that. Everything turns around money. We are still working on that.
Okay, ma'am.
We intend to train some women with disability on how to open their market space with the use of internet, with the digital world. We are trying to show them how they will open their market space with inclusive in the inclusive digital world. And so most of us we do in petty trading, and we actually get to sell a lot when we can use our phones adequately. Just to give you a little demonstration of how we do it, our phones, they have some applications. They have applications for the iPhones. It's called Voice Over.
Yes.
Some other Android phones that are called Talk Back, and so it talks to us what we want to know. When you take your phone and you're using it, it talks back to you, and so you can interact with your phone quite conveniently.
Okay.
You know now, but we have this very simplified banking system with the different mobile monies and orange monies that we have. A blind woman is able to manage her account very adequately using these applications, because if you ever had a blind mother, you will see how demanding it can be for her to use her phone if she does not have such an application.
Indeed.
When she wants to make a call, she will call you to come and please dial this number for me,
yes,
and read this message for me, check if the money came, and check. But when you have this application, you can do it so much. You do it yourself without so much help, and it helps those who are around you. You are not a burden to them.
Yes,
a burden
exactly.
to them. And so we intend to do a one-day seminar. To empower them more on their phones. They shouldn't just go listening to I don't know all the things that have been said on the social media. They can also use their phone in order to promote their business and do better business.
Indeed. It's all about women empowerment. And you just told me something. There is an app we can use. The voice over the talk back. Am I correct?
Yeah, that's it. That's correct.
You see, we learn every day, and thank you for that information, Madam Eveline. And I will come back to you, the Vice President. We are still the Women's Day. Can you? What is it that you're telling the women out there, women of you in your group, in your association? What will you tell them? What is that particular message that you want to pass?
I'm telling my women listening to me. In fact, I'm wishing them Happy Women's Day.
Indeed, Humane.
I'm telling them that they should not feel like, although they will not take part in marching, but they should feel at home and be very happy, and thank God, because the day the months, we are in the month.
Yes, we're in the month.
Yes,
month of March.
So I am wishing the Happy Women's Day, and telling them to prepare their mind on, because we have our meeting tomorrow.
Okay.
So I am telling them that they should try and come for the meeting.
You can even tell us where the meeting is going to take place.
We have our meeting in my 14 Banda, just after the Catholic Church.
And on what time tomorrow?
1 p.m.
Okay. All right.
And may I just
yes, go ahead, ma'am.
May I just underline the importance of women coming together in an association?
Okay.
Because I lost my sight in 2009, and I can tell you it was like the world has come to an end to me.
Okay.
That was before I knew that there was a group that federates people with visual impairment. And so the first day I got to, that was in Yaoundé, the first day I got to meet some people who were like me, I was so relieved. But if I did not go there, that was where I had my first white cane.
Okay.
The white cane helps me to detect obstacles when I am on my way.
Okay.
With the white cane, I can come to Buea alone without a guide. I have traveled to some countries all around Africa without guides.
Okay.
I go alone because I have my white cane, and so it is so important for us to come together in an association. So any blind woman who is not in an association should come to the Cameroon's Association
Indeed.
for Blind Women.
Yeah.
There you get information that is going to help you. There you discuss about common challenges that you have. You discuss about them. There you get new information on how technology is improving, because as we just said, technology is really improving.
Yes.
At first you will not get blind people who passed a certain level of education. But today we have them with PhDs. We have a lot of them with PhDs. When I go abroad, I meet women who really they are pertinent. They bring pertinent a proposal, or how do we put it, in discussions that are around them. And so we in the Cameroon's women, in the Cameroon's Association for Blind Women, we are particular about political participation.
Okay.
If I did not say so here, then there would have been something that is really missing out. Yeah, we are particular about political participation. Okay. We encourage women to register in voting lists, to collect their voters' card, and to vote when the time comes. You may have to know that we have a blind woman who is a municipal councillor in Yaoundé too. Okay. Yaoundé too is one of the biggest council in Yaoundé, and she's a municipal councillor there. Okay. And so we want to see them be
and we have the
parliamentarians.
Exactly. And we have the senatorial elections.
We want to see them be senators. Yeah. It's a journey of 1,000 miles.
But at least
it's beginning with a step.
And you have started already.
Yeah. And so here, that is why I'm saying that if we don't come together we don't come together in an association, we will not be that pressure group. We will not be able to say to the women, because today we talk about the 50-50 in decision making positions in Cameroon. The government and the president has the wish to see that women hold 50% of those positions in parliament, in the Senate, even in other high places. And so we are coming to tell this 50% of the women who are able women that they should remember that there's a quota of women who are disabled or who have disabilities that need to be amongst them.
Yes,
we have lots of networking or networks around Cameroon where women come to talk about their problems. But unfortunately, very few women with disabilities are there. Okay. And that might be because nobody, or that the talk about it had not been very, very common. And so we are coming to say we need to be there in order to tell them, to empower them on how to handle disability issues. Indeed. You understand? Yes. We have, our capacity have been built. We have gone to so many seminars. We want to thank some international organizations like Sight Savers. Sight Savers used to be here in the Southwest region, no longer there, but they will be coming back. Sight Savers has has built capacity for people with disability. And so we have more and more of them getting into politics and getting into those positions. And so it is an opportunity to talk to the women who are in politics, that we, women with disability, we are knocking at the door. We want them to help us be there so that together nobody will feel excluded in this country.
Of course, and they are the policy makers, and so it's politics is a domain that is very, very sensitive and also very important. So I'm happy that you're knocking on the door. You're knocking on the door, and I'm sure they are out there listening to us, the female politicians, the policy makers, and they're hearing our plea. And I'm happy that you're not just sitting back. You have something to offer, as you rightly say. You're on the table, and you're putting something on the table, and say, here we are. We are out here. We want to work with you people, and that is what we are talking about, women empowerment, because it's all inclusive. Nobody is left out. So that's all about it, about the women's day. Yes, Madam Eveline.
And if I were to give you statistics about people with disability in Cameroon, during the last when they were doing registration, we registered about 40,000 people with disability.
Okay,
that's it. For those who do politics, that's a great number that can make everything change.
Indeed.
And so when their manifestos include us, we can make them be there.
Okay,
we will vote for them, and we want to be voted too. So what we are saying is that we are a number that counts.
Okay,
and
indeed.
So let them take interest in us, and so we will make Cameroon a better place to be.
Okay, indeed, we all count, Madam Eveline. Thank you so much. We are running to the end of this mini program, but before we leave, or before we take leave of you guys, dear listener, we are with representatives of the Cameroon Association for Blind Women. I want you to tell us, what are your future prospects from here? What are we expecting, Madam Eveline, who is the national president?
We had our planning. We had our annual plan for, how do we call it again? The phrase is leaving me.
Okay.
But we had our meeting where we did our planification for this year.
Okay.
For this year, we want to be everywhere. We'll be where the things are being done. Like during this month of March, that is for the women. We are there. We are bringing our own small stone to the edifice that is being built, and we want to continue to work on empowering the women in their livelihoods.
Okay.
You see, that's very, very, it's sensitive. And before any woman start thinking about political participation, the woman must be able to be
economically empowered.
Yeah, she must be able to eat and feed her children. And so we are talking about that. And we want to talk more about including young children and telling them the benefits of going to school. And make sure that they have what they need to go to school. Because for the blind, for example, they need the braille slate, they need braille papers in order to go to school. We are talking about these assistive devices like the computer, like the telephone. It is not luxury for us. It's a
necessity.
Yeah, it's a necessity. And so we are looking abroad on how we can attract some of this help, so that the young people, the young girls in special, that they should be able to go to school. And so we will continue. Those are where we want to touch this year, most especially. And so, just as we said, this is an opportunity for parents who have children they don't know what to do with, especially the visually impaired children. Let them come close to us, and we will guide them on what to do and where to go to.
Indeed, dear parents, you've heard from the national president of the Cameroon Association for the Blind. Please don't stay back and say help has not come. They are here. They're talking to you out there. If you have visually impaired children and you need help, they are here to help you. And that is the national president. And for the vice president, who is Madame Do Glory, she has already given us her contact. So I'm going to ask you, Madame Do Glory, to give us your final words. And then you're going to retake that contact again. So that if anybody has to contact you, they will be able to know that, okay, we are contacting you through this method. So, Madame Do Glory, you represent Southwest, Buea in particular. What are your final words before we leave the studio?
My final word is thanking the CRTV Buea, most especially the station manager for accepting our plea to come and talk about ourselves.
Okay.
Also, let me say hi to the proprietress of the Holiday Inn Hotel. He has been very instrumental for Association for Blind Women in Cameroon. We are thanking her and praying that she should continue to create even other partners to help us.
Okay. And so I was talking about your contact. Can you take it again?
Yeah, my contact again is 676-828256.
Okay. 676-828256 is a number, dear listener, that you can get to Madame Do Glory. She's here based in Buea, and she's the vice president of the Cameroon Association for Blind Women. Now, in order to draw the curtains, we will come back to you, the national president, to give us also your final words, and who knows, maybe a contact as well.
My final word is I am so happy to have been here. It's a promise we'll be talking more and more.
Indeed.
And just as our vice has said, we want to thank the station manager. We want to thank you to Yvonne and all the other staff here in CRTV who permitted us to be able to see a society where the blind child or the blind girl would not feel excluded at all. Indeed. She would just say, it's all right. I am blind, but it's okay. I am included, and I am relevant. So we will continue we'll continue this talk on other media. And thank you so much for having us.
Of course, it's a pleasure. I always say again, is women support women. It's been a wonderful talk. I've learned a lot from you. We've shared a lot of information that is relevant for people out there, the visually impaired, and you have been so open. So is there, if they want to contact you, is there procedure, is there a means?
My contact number, is 677-580423. Okay. That's my number. Of course, we have a Facebook page, which is
the Cameroon
CAMAB Women.
Oh, CAMAB Women.
Yeah, CAMAB Women.
Okay.
We have a Facebook page where you could find some of the things we are doing. We've been doing.
Okay.
But as we say, we are still very young.
Okay.
And so we are promising to do our very best. To do our very best in order to make our society a better society.
Okay. Thank you so much, Madam President. Eveline Angonwi, all the way from Yaoundé. She's here in the Southwest to talk about the activities this Women's Day, the Cameroon Association for the Blind Women. And they have dropped their contacts, dear listener, any well-wisher out there as well. And then also they have a Facebook page, the CAMAB Women, ladies and gentlemen. You can see the activities there, and of course further contacts. We are in the spirit of Women's Day, dear listener. We are talking about women, their various activities, women of all walks of life. And it's a pleasure talking with you this morning, And one thing I bear in mind before leaving the studio, I will bear in mind is that the theme is very, very significant, the theme of this year. Yeah. And every woman out there, pay attention. The theme of this year is an inclusive digital world, innovation and technologies for gender equality. So every woman should know that this theme is very important and that it signifies or different things to us, but all positive. So thank you very much, Madame Eveline and Madame Do Glory, for being with us here this morning. It's been CRTV Southwest 94.5.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, and I have been Yvonne Esamingowo on the microphone. Our programs continue on CRTV Southwest. Have a good day. Happy Women's Day.
Thank you.